Hello and welcome everybody to Absolutely Marvelin' DC. It is myself and Hassan, and we're here to talk about Superman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 6. We are finally back from the break because I believe last week they took off for,
Olympics.
I think, the Olympics. Mm-hmm. So we are finally back, and we are back strong with drama and Superman fighting Bizarro.
Oh, yeah. And before I was behind watching this episode, so I finished the episode and then got on to film this, so real fresh in my mind. But before I watched it, Dan texted me this morning and was like, get ready, it's going to be a drama-filled one, because we've been talking about like CW drama versus like television cinema drama. And
right.
I think this stressed you out, right? Like you were like, I'm not about this.
So the drama in this episode is probably one of the best examples of drama. That is the reason why I prefer anime, because when it's on screen and it's people, I just have this feeling of like, no, I have to pause this. This is uncomfortable. Like, I know where this is going.
This is too real. I'm cringing.
It's too real, and I'm just cringing non-belief. I literally paused throughout her quinceañera like 16 times because I was like, no, don't do it here. Oh, okay, so, and it was just a constant psych you out drama too. I think that's what really got me, was that they so many times were like, are they gonna drop it? No, but maybe next time. Maybe. But so essentially in this episode we do have Sarah having her quinceañera. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's basically yeah when you turn 15, I believe, you become a woman.
When a girl becomes a woman.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sweet 16, but you're 15.
Yeah.
It's a fun 15. No. So we had that going on. We had all the stuff behind the scenes with Superman and Bizarro and the DOD guy, who I am not... there's something going on there.
He's weird, man.
I don't know if he's oblivious or if he's going to be evil.
Yeah, and I have some thoughts on that. I have some real thoughts on that one.
Okay, and then we've also, in this one, we had more with Allison, the woman who was messing with Lois's sister, and we find out that apparently her and her necklace and her family is the connection to Bizarro World. And that was a turn that I wasn't expecting. I don't know about you. I was not expecting like the mirror universe to actually go somewhere.
Yeah, and it's because we just had, what was it, a couple seasons ago on The Flash, we had the Mirrorverse.
Yes.
So this feels like exactly that, but obviously this is a different show with more intelligent, or writers that are putting more intelligent work out there. So maybe they're like, we can retread this because it'll be better this go around. But I think it was Lois Lane a couple episodes ago that said, I saw my other self, and that was my first clue. Was like, okay, maybe, but I didn't expect it to converge so quickly. And this is why I really think that this is A plot of the season. There's going to be a B plot in the back half, which is what I love. I love it if we can have a cool overarching villain for the whole season, but this to me makes more narrative sense than, like, I remember Cicada in The Flash. How was he a villain for as long as he was a villain? It made no sense. We're not going to get into that one here. Things like that. Things like that in The Thinker, where it's like they should just stop them by mid-season, if not sooner. And we don't need one guy. I know we casted one guy and we paid him a lot, so he needs to stay for the length of it. But unless it's Tom Cavanaugh's Reverse Flash, I don't want a season-long villain anymore. So I'm excited. I think that they're converging everything really, really well right now. I love Superman going to see Tuck too, because they have that back and forth before, and the way he looks at him, he's like, thank you, Superman. We talked about this before. This Superman feels like the most real Superman I've ever seen on screen. It just like, and we've had more time than obviously any other Superman because of it's a TV show. So we have time to like sit with him and like resonate with him as a character and as like a being. And I've been loving it every second of him on screen. And the fight this episode.
The fight, honestly, I don't know, but I just love the fact that in the middle of that fight, it just kind of became a Superman being like, "Stay down." Literally, flies right. Stop doing this. Like, oh my god, exact same thing. I like that we finally got the Bizarro powers, the fire breath versus the ice vision and stuff like that. That
the opposite.
Oh my god, that I loved. I think my biggest complaint with Bizarro, they didn't even try the Bizarro talk. of the...
You can understand why they didn't, though, right?
You can, like I can completely understand why. I just kind of would have preferred maybe like he talks in Bizarro talk to give kind of that fun, hey, this is how they talk in Bizarro World, but then also going, oh, but I luckily was able to build this translator so we can actually understand him. Because I think that just would have been a fun little, hey, comic fans.
I love nods to the comics. I love it. But then you think about, like, that reads on paper really, really well. Like, me Superman, me faster,
this is
stronger
true.
you. And then in acting, if, I love Tyler Hoechlin.
You know what?
But Tyler Hoechlin could not have sold that without it being problematic as hell and very ableist and not okay.
You know what? Now that you say that, it would have definitely been like, what was it? Happy Jack from Tropical Thunder.
It would have been Happy Jack from Tropical Thunder. So, we gotta steer away from that. But I agree. I love little nods to the comics, and this clearly is a very different Bizarro than what we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And Bizarro World has always been a thing, but this narrative feels different. It feels like we're spinning a lot more of like he's the hero of his world, and like I'm invested in this, and even the drama. I know you didn't like the drama. For me, as much as the tension built up, I liked it. I don't like Lana's dad. I hated him last season. He reads as a very reads as I live in Alabama, guys, and he reads as let's not give too many descriptor words of general people from Alabama. He gives those real angry. I'm a brown person in Alabama. He gives angry white man vibes to me, and I just have messed around to which called him an angry white man. We just talked about it beforehand. Who's Hispanic in this family? What's happening here? Because we agreed before in
the Cushing Cortez.
We agreed before. I think it was either me and Ben or me and you, where it's like, okay, it's actually Lana's.
It was you
Lana's
and I.
husband.
We were convinced it was Lana.
It was Lana, right? She's ethnic. She's tan. She's definitely the one. And then he's like, "This is my abuela." Abuela, like from Encanto. Like, wait, no, hold on, abuela. So, and now he's Cushing instead of Cortez. I feel like they're cutting scenes.
I thought I missed an episode. I won't lie. I thought I straight up missed an episode, explaining some stuff. Because that came out of nowhere,
straight left field, and I'm still just a little jarred by it. But I guess their last name is Cortez now, so she's Lana Lang Cortez. Well, and I thought he spoke in a perfect.
They didn't officially make the change either, though, because I think I'm wondering if this is. I legit am wondering if this is going to revert her back to Lana Lang, because we have her talking about changing her last name, but of course they were talking about it because he even says, I didn't tell my abuela because we don't know if you're going to change your mind. Then what gets revealed? Something that might change their mind. And so I wonder if this might be we'll get the Sarah being you're no, I don't you're not my dad. My mom has been here. I'm going to take her last name. And I wonder if this is because there's got to be something there. You don't
see. We want there to.
There's got to be, yeah.
We do, but we wanted repercussions for Sarah cheating on Jonathan or Jordan, and there weren't. And I'm so, and I told this to Dan right before we started filming. I'm like, is there a writer on this show that's been cheating on his wife and is looking to send her the show and be like, hey, you agree that it was okay that they cheated, right? You're okay with this, right? And then he's going to reveal to her that he's been cheating, because there's got to be a reason, because this is so weird. Cheaters are okay storyline. If they push this into cheaters are okay, maybe this is the lesson, right? Sarah's going to break down later in the season and hold Jordan and say, I'm so sorry. You weren't angry enough about this. You were too loving. You were too forgiving. I shouldn't have done this. I hope. Fingers
you know
crossed.
What? If they do that, I will actually be very, very... I mean, I'm still annoyed that they did it in the first part, but if they do that, I will be less annoyed, because at least it will be a good lesson to learn from that, as opposed to, hey, kids, it's okay to cheat if you're a girl on camp, but it's not okay to cheat if you're a guy.
If you're exploring your sexuality as a young person, remember, we're CW.
Cheating is
Dare
cheating.
to defy. We include everybody. But hold on, guys. I love that slogan. Let's not make it for cheaters.
Yeah, let's not defy everything here.
The LGBTQ plus that we love, but let's not include LGBTQC cheaters. Are we adding no word?
Right.
No. cheaters are not
'Cause they
marginalized
even-
people. Let's not add that to the list.
Like they even threw in the LGBTQ in the cheating situation, that the fact that he was cheating on a bisexual woman.
Oh my God,
because
they didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because she's like, yeah, I talked to my girlfriend about this and I told her, and it's like they didn't say anything to make it sound like girlfriend was referring to just a female friend. Like it sounded like an actual girlfriend.
It sounded like a significant other. Well, she said, because she says she was the one who was there for me. She was my friend. But then earlier she's girlfriend. I think it's definitely a girlfriend, a significant other.
Yeah.
But I personally, I don't like Mr. Cushing. I don't like Mr. Cortez or whatever the hell his name is. I think that he's like exactly the kind of ignorant sheep that I hate, or the whole Morgan Edge situation where he's like, I'm going to listen to this multi-millionaire man who's going to come save our small town farms. And it's like, that's going to go well for you, my guy. Come on. And it went just as well as you'd think. So now that I'm seeing him, because they've been like really redeeming his character, or like they've been pushing this narrative.
Because I actually kind of liked his redemption. I was liking it for Sarah's sake.
Yeah.
And then of course the reason why I'm liking it, they're like, haha, we're going to turn it on that bit. We're going to just screw
We're going to how the turntable. It's not enough that Lana's running for office, but her husband has to be cheating, and Sarah has to be cheating. And Lois is at odds with her coworker, and Jonathan's doing drugs to get powers.
I got to ask, am I the only one that does not like Lois?
So I like Lois a lot. I don't like the coworker. I think that their chemistry is off, and it's been off-putting. Okay. But I loved her last season. I love pieces of her.
Maybe it's that coworker relationship that's throwing me off. Then, because every time they do a scene with those two, I'm like, I'm struggling to get through this. It feels very forced. It feels very like, do they not like each other offset?
It's there's this narrative of like, she keeps pushing for, she's like, Lois, I don't work for you. We're partners. And it's like, well, in this universe, this is Pulitzer-winning reporter Lois Lane, and you're a small town nobody. Like, and it's not a mean thing, but like you're goddamn nobody. And yes, she is in charge. And I think that, you know, in the same way of like the Central City Citizen with like Iris on that show, where it feels very like jarring and aggressive. They're like, well, Iris is the boss here, and she writes the articles, and she's really good. And I'm like, no, she's not. She hasn't done anything at all outside of season 1, where she kind of wrote an article that was kind of cool. She hasn't done anything to deserve this title. And then it's like power dynamics. And I think that we're in this another situation where it's just like, I don't need this like we're partners dynamic. I'm okay if Lois just delegates work to somebody else, and then they work together, and that this woman can still be the owner of the Smallville Gazette or whatever the hell the newspaper is called. I don't even know what it's called.
Right.
But it does. It feels really jarring. I was shocked when she went into the room with Clark, and her came in the room with her and the cult lady, because I was thinking, oh my God, she's joining the cult. But this makes sense. I like the reveal that she was drugging her. I like the reveal that she went to Bizarro World in a way, and like that made me feel a little bit better, because I thought they were going the route of like, this woman is such a little sheep. She got her feelings hurt by Lois, so she joined the cult, and that's why she was upset. So she's not upset because of, and at that point, Lois should not be absolved of not sharing all of the information she had on and what she did to the article and all that stuff. So I thought we were gonna wash that away. Good thing we didn't. And we maintained the fact that Lois did do a not great thing by not cluing her partner in on everything happening. So fingers crossed, man. I have faith.
There's just something about those scenes that because it always just does circle the same thing with Lois. It's between that relationship between the two. It's always, you didn't tell me, you didn't need to know. You don't tell me what I don't need to know. You didn't, and it's just the same thing over and over. And it's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you didn't even need that scene. You could have gone straight to just her interviewing the cult lady. Like, it would have made sense. She wants to do her own thing. And like, anyway, that relationship aside, like this one just did have a lot of drama between the different groups, because we have now the Jordan and Jonathan thing as well, which we haven't really touched on.
That is an incredible storyline, and I'm loving it. I love the concept of it. Did you watch Smallville back in the day?
I didn't watch enough that I would be able to reminisce.
So on Smallville, we introduced the Kryptonites of varying colors, and they have very specific things. Green, same old classic Kryptonite. Red Kryptonite, turns Clark edgy and evil, and he wears it, and his irises turn red, and he's just like, he has no inhibitions, and he's just like a crazy person. So there are times where he gets it by accident, and there's later in the show where he just puts it on purpose to be bad boy Clark, and he rides around on a motorcycle and wears only black. The show is incredible. Iconic. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it.
Love it.
And there's a sequel series coming out. Fun fact. Animated, voiced by all the same cast members. Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum are heading it up as producers. So very cool stuff.
I'm a sucker for animated shows.
Oh, I'm a sucker. They have everything down. I think they said they're waiting on writers. The writers are writing other things right now. But Red Kryptonite makes you like angry and aggressive. And it's like, that's what we're getting with this steroid
and X Kryptonite, it's almost the same color scheme as well.
Do you think they're going to permanently unlock Jonathan's powers after this? Because I think after a while they will. I think there's going to be a big caveat, but I think we might be giving him his powers now.
I think, first off, I think it's crazy that Sam Lane is like, oh yeah, you just punched your Superboy brother. I'm not going to question this at all. Like,
no, that whole thing was crazy. But also, how fun is he in there? Like, this actor is just, he was great at Military Man, and now he's great as like grandfather. They're going to put on your bare knuckle brawling under the barn right now. Like, okay. And I like the training where he's like, step back real quick. Just take a step back. Like, it feels very familial. Like, I don't know why, but I could really believe that this is their grandfather. And I could believe that they're brothers. I think that for the first time in CW shows, it's not like 30-year-old Jordan Fisher pretending to be like 35-year-old Grant Gustin's son. He's like, hey, Dad, what's up? Let's go run around together. Like, it feels way more realistic in this grandfather.
Yeah.
Just amazing. But yeah, the fact that he didn't question it was really jarring to me. But I think, you know, maybe he's still operating off. He was still testing Jordan's limits at this point. So maybe in his mind, Jordan is not...
Because Jordan was always the weaker of the two as well. So, I mean, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But I think they are going to go in the direction... This is... Okay, here's my prediction for the rest of the season is Jonathan's going to get the actual powers, but he is going to be too angry that the new Department of Defense guy is going to take advantage of that, and he's going to make Jonathan part of his Superman squad. Ooh. And I think we're going to come into a potential back, like you were saying, like the two arcs. We have the Bizarro thing at first. I think the second one might be dealing with the two sons having the powers and the Department of Defense guy, because there's very clearly something going to be done with that guy, and it does not feel like it's going to be related to Bizarro World.
You know,
it feels like it's going to
it feels like it's going to be a pivot. That guy is really interesting to me. I like the actor a lot for the role because he really does read as old American conservative military man who refuses to listen to logic because he's like, here's the rules of America. You abide by them or you get struck down by the power of God because we're the country of the Lord. And it's like, dude, what? That was a bad idea. You got some kids killed. And he's like blaming Superman for it. He goes, where were you? Where were you supposed to be? I'm like, dude, he's not God. I mean, he's not far from God, but he's not God
like they
specifically.
Consider him. Yeah.
So it's I like this actor. I like where they're going. I did appreciate that, you know, he's got this really perverse mentality of like, they're soldiers. This is war. And it's like, and then Bizarro reiterates that later, but children that were given powers without their consent, I don't know about the other two, but Tuck got powers without his consent, was taken to a military installation and then made to be a soldier. That's not, I mean, that's just, given the geopolitical climate of today, fingers crossed this doesn't start happening to us.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to war, guys. I want to make YouTube videos forever.
Yeah. I mean, unless I get superpower. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, how much? What kind of powers?
I mean, it depends on what powers, but we're not going to go into that.
I can look. If I can handle the war and then go home and play Xbox, like, you know, like I'll do it. But, yeah, this whole episode, and we've touched on it, but we haven't gone into it. Sarah's dad cheating on the wife. I like that. It was super upsetting to say the least, and it's also like, you have such a hot wife. How dare you?
Thank you. I was thinking that exact same thing.
That's the most beautiful woman I've seen on the CW, and that's a statement because CW is beautiful people dealing with problems. That's their whole brand. And this woman, she looks like an older version of Nina Dobrev, and I sign up for this. Okay, I love her, and also she's an incredible actress. That's like, forget the how beautiful it is. Incredible actress. I'm like, dude, are you? You're playing games, man. You're playing games.
Yeah.
She said when Dad sees you in the dress, when Hassan sees you in that dress. Okay, Miss Lang Cushing. Cortez, I guess, dash. Like, I don't know. But
just Lana.
Lana. And then her and Clark I love their dynamic.
I love that relationship. Yes, like it's not shoved in your face. I love that, but that we do get the moments in this. I'm glad you actually brought that up because it was such a brief scene, but it was such a momentous.
It's love. And it's not like it's like on CW, it's like when we don't have romantic love, then we're enemies now. But it's like just because I have a romantic partner that's not you doesn't mean that you weren't my first love, you weren't my oldest love, and I'm not going to care for you forever. Because that's the man Clark Kent is. That's the man Clark Kent to me. That's my Superman. So to see him having this really loving, there's no cheating going on. There's not 1 second where he looks at her with the eyes of like, oh man, if I could have had another shot at this. He looks at her with love, with admiration, even attraction, but not like that. And Tyler Hoechlin does it beautifully. I don't know what this actress's name is, but I obviously need to Google it because I'm in love with her. This Lana's actress, like they both play that part beautifully. And also the fact that Lois has never once brought it up. So we know it's not a CW drama of like, when he's going on here, like, because what's his face? The other guy did. And obviously, because now we know he suspects Lana of doing things because he's doing things, which is
exactly. Let's be honest. Like you always know that one of them's doing something when they're assuming the other one's doing something.
Very TV show trope, but also guys, pay attention to your real life. If someone's been accusing you of something, do some due diligence. Might be worth looking into. But it was overall. I know you have mixed feelings on the episode. For me, it was. I'm glad we got a little break from the show, came back into it, and I'm excited about next episode. I'm very excited to see where this is going, and I think that we're going to continue to have this like CW-ish drama as the background theme of the show. Right. But also, I want to see the show succeed. So I really want them to handle this cheating storyline with grace. If we're going to give them a redemption, have it be really, really, really earned. You can't just half-ass this. You can't flash this, guys. Okay? You need Arrow season 1, season 2 writing. We got to hit the stride.
Yeah. But was there anything else? I feel like
Beautiful
we've covered.
We touched on it all.
Yeah. It was not in the correct order with the episode because I feel like that's always how it is with Superman and Lois. Is you start talking about one thing, it reminds you of this other thing that was way down.
I think
here
this show is just too tangential for us to even do like a proper recap to get into it because it's like in the middle of the recap. Okay, let's talk about this because I'm having anxiety with not talking about it because this show is like I'm sitting here watching like, oh my god, I gotta call Dan. Like I'm halfway through and I'm like, can I just watch with you? Should we just do watch parties of this and record that and put it up?
I mean, that would be a terrible idea.
I think the channel would like it. We could do it like commentary track style. They can sync it up and watch it alongside us. I'd love it.
Now, that would be good. That would be good. But thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to conclude it there for today. That is Hassan Kader. You can find him on at Hassan Kader on TikTok. Kader. It is there? Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember if your YouTube was a different name.
It's all the same. And we have my YouTube's the same. I also have a second channel called Bad Days where I do a podcast. And then pay very close attention to my Twitter because maybe there's this pop culture channel coming up in the near future for me because I've fallen in love with doing this and I just want to make this my real job. So we'll see.
All right. Well, guys, check him out. Check me out on Twitch. It's FoxToastX, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out.